Hello everyone and welcome back to Cos, and tonight we are at the Hungarian. Um, as per usual, I'm waiting for Dan, if he's not here
Wait
yet.
no longer, for I am here.
He is back!
Woo!
Okay,
Yes. I've fixed all the issues and storm problems and things. We're good to go.
thankfully.
Yes. So you missed me, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to do it with Ricky. With the V10
Oh,
engines.
bless you. Bless you.
uh, and then my ring crashed and just didn't go right that night.
No, and it was a weird race as well. Not something I crashed in my race at Vegas, but I crashed last night as well. It's not gone well for me.
No.
On track the last couple of races. It's not been good.
No, but yeah, that's how it is.
I'm sure.
Difficult track.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys will be able to have a good race.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's see.
See a few drivers coming out.
Yeah, dry weather, at least at the start of qualifying. We'll see what happens with that later on. We had a clear run last night, so I should be able to do at least some sort of strategical analysis for you if we get that far.
Hopefully you will be able to, because I haven't raced here yet. My race is on Thursday. But it is a difficult track. Very difficult on tire times as well.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad last night actually. It was okay. Particularly, obviously in previous years the soft tyres have burnt themselves out in maybe 2 or 3 laps, but this year you can get maybe 8 out of them, 8 to 10 out of them, if you really look after them. And it's an easy one stop now, whereas before it was touch and go whether a 1 or a 2 was quickest.
Yeah, a one stop is definitely faster now. But you could make a 2-stopper work if there's a safety car in the middle.
Yeah, and you get the timings right, you definitely could.
Yeah.
First car on track
Is
is
Red Panda.
Yes.
Our EU1 commentator.
Yeah, reserving from EU4 tonight. We've got 4 reserve drivers. That's Ibiza, Red Panda, as we've already said. Pipe Tech and Andre and Milosh as well. It's 5. Never mind.
Isn't it 6? If I'm not wrong.
Who's the other one?
Pure Blades, isn't he?
Yes, yes, he is. Oh, you see, I've been away for a week and I've lost all sensibility.
I was looking at the grid. I had to take a minute or two.
Yeah, no, there is 6. Yes, well spotted. Well corrected. The thing is, I wouldn't mind. I've had to put them all in the chat to tell them they're in. So it's my own fault. Red Panda then, tidy lap so far. He's a little bit wide on the exit of the chicane. Straddles that curb. That's going to cost him a 10th or 2.
Yeah, he looks to have a decent front end, Panda.
Yeah.
He might have gotten the tires up to temperature quite quickly. And
yeah,
you kind of
the warm-up's pretty good.
Yeah,
warm-up is pretty good. So it's not one of those circuits where you sort of have to debate whether to go aggressive on the outlap or then try even a double outlap. 18.0 then the first time. Spod immediately smashes that with a 16.8. With Ibiza tucking in behind with a 17.0.
Yeah, Yasuda coming over the line now with a 16.4, so he's smashing it.
Yeah. Pole position last night was for Racer, and that was a 16.2. So we're already very, very close to that. And expect with track evolution to get maybe another half a second off these times, assuming that the drivers themselves can hook the lap up together. So I would think we might be looking at a low 15 for pole tonight, maybe a mid 15.
Yeah, I assume Dummy or Will might put something out tonight. They're really quick in qualifying, those two. As Nisula is around.
Yeah, he's lost it at turn 5, hasn't he? But thankfully, time already on the board. Doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
He won't get back to the pits, get rid of that set of tyres, which will now be ruined completely.
Yeah, Mans got completely distracted by that and had to back out of his lap, which is unfortunate. It looked decent.
Yeah. We've got 2 debutants tonight as well. Mons is one of them. So Mons for Williams, and then not Griffin in the Alpine. Both making their COS and EU3 debuts tonight.
Yeah, Griffin was quite happy about racing tonight. And he was very eager to know what times everyone is doing.
He's got the bug already, that competitive bug. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, so going into turn 1, you have to brake just about at 80 or something, because it's actually quite a long corner. So you have to... you can keep a lot of speed into the corner, and then down to turn 2, it's such a difficult corner. You have to get the front in, and then you have a quite easy corner afterwards, quite easily flat. Bit of a lift into the fast left-hander, and he has got Williams in front of him. That is on a lap, I think. So Griffin might be a bit distracted on the lap, which is unfortunate. But nothing to do about that.
Yeah, of course, Mons is on a lap himself, so he's not obligated to get out of the way.
Definitely not.
And Griffin will be hopefully able to get a little bit of a toe towards the line, although it, as Mons does get out of the way and backs out of it.
Yeah. I think he invalidated his lap, unfortunately.
Yeah, he ran wide, didn't he, at 14?
Yeah, such a difficult corner, but it did cost Griffin quite a bit of time because he had to back out. And Dummy, as I've said, he's just behind Nisula as well. So
2 hundredths behind there for the Ferrari. I'm just looking at the 2 championships as it stands at the moment. Obviously, the constructors will continue to next time out in Qatar, unless there's a real calamity for Aston Martin tonight. I don't think it can be won. So there's 31 points between the teams, with 132 available. So yeah, it should be fairly.
yeah, Dan has completely just run away with it in the drivers.
Yeah, so it's 63 points ahead of Tiski now in second place for the Drivers' Championship. And again, there is a total of 78 points available. So if Dan outscores Tiski by 15 points tonight, 1-5, he will be crowned the Season 12 EU3 champion. So to put that in perspective, that is a P3 for Dan, with Tiski not scoring. Or better. And then we can sort of work it out on the fly. So it could be one tonight. Constructors will go to next time out in Qatar, but the drivers could still be one.
Definitely. And Dan is doing his usual, just doing a lot of laps. So is Titchy. And Alex has done a 16-0, so the EU2 time is already beaten tonight.
Yeah, EU4 can... EU4 can sit and watch and take notes on how it's done. Alex in with 16-0, like you said. 2 tenths ahead of last night's pole time. Nisula out again for another lap. So we'll see if he can retake the provisional pole position. The second Ferrari of Will, like you said, both of them looking strong. He's up into 4th place, just shy of 2 tenths behind his teammate. In fact, they've been split now by Ivica, who's gone through with a 16.5.
Yeah, Ivica, he's been really good in EU3. Every race he's been participating in. He's been a tiny bit unlucky as well with a few incidents, but that's part of racing.
Yeah, it is. And I was telling you off air that I retired last night, and it was in a tangle with Ivica. So yeah, it was one of those things. I mean, we'll see what comes from it. I felt aggrieved and reported it, but ultimately I think it could go down as a racing incident. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
To be honest, I reported it for the benefit of the Constructors' Championship, because the 2 extra points we could get if there's any penalties involved will put us in a really strong position going into the last 2 races. So it's a tactical game rather than anything else. We'll see what happens there. But no, Ivica's he's been really strong in E4 as well. Him and Goran in the Alpines have been competing in the constructors with myself and Lewis and Ferrari, and it's going down to the last 2 races. So he's definitely a contender to move up next season. I think the one thing that we need to sort of, that he needs to work on for his racecraft is his ERS management. I think if he can sort of work that out, and we've said it before, he'll do very, very well. I'm just riding on board with Nisula, who has set the fastest first sector of anyone so far. He's flying at the moment.
Yeah, he was close to 3/10 up in the first sector. He's really getting up to grips with the car and the setup now. Track is ramping up as well, and he does to hook every apex quite nicely.
Really good.
5/10
up. Second up now.
That is an absolute bonkers slap from the Suga if he gets this in, especially because the last sector is with track illusion you gain so much over time.
Yeah, and this could be the first man into the 1 minute 15s. Here we go. Charge for the line.
It's a 15.8.
Oh. 15.8 for Nisula. Mighty pace from the Alfa Romeo. So at the moment it's Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Alpine, Ferrari, McLaren, Alfa Tauri, Red Bull, Mercedes. Still with some big hitters to put in some proper time, some real fast laps. We're looking at like Dan, Tichy, 2Spell as well. I know can go quicker than that. Spod, I would anticipate going a little bit quicker. Who's just jumped up there? I think is that Pipe Tech going up to P9?
Yeah, he's.
No, it was Griffin. Griffin into 4th.
Yeah, we saw he got blocked. I say blocked, but he didn't really get blocked. He just had a bit of traffic on his lap, and the dirty air really cost him a lot of time. And he's showing that he's got the pace to compete with the top guys, especially in qualifying. You don't know about the race yet.
Ferrari's just orchestrated a bit of a tow. It's not really helped Will, and he's invalidated there on the exit of turn 4. The Hungaroring, it's a weird track for penalties, isn't it? It's either a feast or a famine, really. You've got drivers who will pick up maybe 2 or 3 time penalties as a result of track limit violations, and plenty who will keep it within the lines. But it's easy enough to sort of slide off the track and just to say go over that white line.
Definitely. It's such a hard track. Because it's just a minor snap of oversteer and you go a bit wide, and it's a time penalty, especially in those high-speed corners. That's such a small margin for error.
Yeah, and then like you say, snap of oversteer or a little hint of understeer, and you're trying to correct it mid-corner. It's a lot of the corners here are they're inviting you to get on the power earlier, and it just pushes the car wide.
Yeah, I was on board with Millers. He put in the purple sector 2, but he was quite a bit down in his sector 1, and he is improving up to a 16.6. He had such a big snap of oversteer in the last sector, so I think that's at least 2/10 in it still, so that's a really good lap. Because he was 3/10 down in sector 1, and Tiski goes to P1 with a 15.6, just about.
Alfa Romeo 1-2, and Tiski doing what he can to try and keep the championship battle alive. Will at the moment is improving, but not by much, and he's now invalidated at the end of the second sector, so that should see the Ferrari dive back into the pit lane. Yeah, Miloš was challenging for the front row last night, so he's definitely up there in terms of his pace. I think there's a couple of drivers I still want to see if they can get a lap in. Spod is one of them, so he's out on an outlap at the moment. We've got Two-Spell, who is just starting a lap himself.
Yep, heading into turn 1. The thing is, with turn 1 round here, you don't necessarily have to hit the apex as long as you get the good run out of the corner.
Yeah, you've just got to make sure that the car's turned, really, haven't you? Because you've got the DRS zone on the exit as well. In the race, it's a different line to qualifying. Obviously, with that DRS zone, you take a wider line on entry in qualifying, so you can get the car straight, open the DRS, and get the power down.
Yeah.
In the race, you just want the fastest line through the corner, which is often a lot tighter.
Yeah, that's the thing. Racing lines, they change a bit compared to yeah, the races and qualifying. So Two-Spell 3/10 up.
It's not going to improve his position by much at the moment. 1 place ahead of Spod if it keeps as it is at the moment. Be looking for a few more tenths yet.
Yeah, he's getting really deep into that corner to gain a bit, but he's just about behind Pipe-Tech.
16.7, 5 thousandths behind Pipe-Tech for Two-Spell, gets out of the way of the onrushing Mercedes of Dan Lobo, who I'm going to watch through this lap and just see what happens. I think the next man across the line that we're going to be really of interest is going to be Alex up in P3.
Yeah, I'm following Alex right now. He's just about a 10th up, so it's not been the best of laps from Alex for now. But he's trying to improve. He's putting it all out there. And he's gonna go up to the line now. And what time is he gonna be from the AlphaTauri? Is he gonna be 15? It's gonna be 15.999, so just about into the 15s for Alex. Dummy is on a lap as well.
Excellent stuff. I'm watching the down. He's just going to come through the second sector split any second now. 1.5 seconds up at the moment. That's going to put him on a 16.8. But he's got the final sector to go, so I think this could be, if he nails the lap, I think top 7, top 8 potentially for down here. But he's got a lot of other drivers still going around and probably improving. Final corner, DRS open. It's a 16 flat, he goes into 4th place, a monstrous final sector. Yeah, puts him up into the top 5. Can he hold it and stay there? That's the question. He's relying on everybody else now.
Yeah, that was one mighty lap from Dan. Especially in the last sector. That was an insane margin to improve. 8 tenths or something. And Tommy is just about ahead.
Tichy's gone up to P11, 16.7 for the Haas. We've got, Domi, like you say, has improved. He's gone ahead of down now into P4. Tiski's had enough. Nisula's going again. Let's see what he can do through the first sector split. There's a yellow flag ahead of him. There's a slow-moving Mercedes. And he is improving through the first sector. Not by much. He needs to find another... To be honest, he needs to find another 10.5 to get himself ahead of his teammate and take pole position through the S-bends, then at the back end of the circuit. That's the second sector split now.
Oh, that's gonna be a crash, and yeah, that's the end of Nisula's run in qualifying. That was actually a big crash.
It was, yeah, and that's finding the limit and then slightly going beyond it. He really threw it into that corner and hoped it stuck. I think just a little bit too much curb. Unsettled the rear end of the car. I mean, 10 out of 10 for effort, though. You've got to try and find that time wherever you can. He really went for it. But Nisula will have to settle for second. Domi then not going to improve as he's coming across the line now.
And
So Nisula, the last man we're waiting for to finish, but that's going to be it for qualifying. Tiski takes pole.
yeah, he's trying everything he can to keep that championship alive, and he's doing all he needs to do, at least for now. So great qualifying left from him.
699 for Tiski, with an all Alfa Romeo front row. I don't think we've said that, or anyone has said that, since maybe the 50s, when Alfa were winning with Ascari and Fangio and those, well, that era of drivers.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Way before me as well, thankfully. Maybe not before Ricky's, though.
Nah, he's quite old by now.
Yeah.
So Tiski is on pole, with his teammate right behind him, and Nesula and Alex complete the top 3. So that's all the drivers in the 15s, and Dom is right behind, just barely behind Alex as well. So he will have the inside line. Oh no, outside line. My brain is fried. Dan is still all he needs to do to just push Tiski to push a bit more in the race, because he's in P5, he's not starting last this time around. Will P6 with his final run, and Pure Blades reserve from EU3, EU4. Not Griffin, great debut from him in P8, P9 Spothead, and Milosh in P10.
It was the good old days. They'd have to start the race on a set of soft tyres, as it is. They get free choice nowadays. So as we're waiting, no formation lap now, of course, for the remainder of the season, thanks to some glitches with crossplay. We're going to go straight into this. Everyone will be on cold tyres as well, so anyone choosing to start on the hards is going to be at a big disadvantage for the first few laps until they can get those tyres up to temperature. We're looking at a one-stop race, either soft to medium, it is doable, or soft to hard. Potentially a two-stop soft, medium, soft as well. There may be some rain later on, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that. We've not heard any reports of it yet. I'm assuming, Hako, you'll be able to see the stream chat, will you? And let me know if there's, or let us know if there's any comments there from inside information.
I will definitely let you know if there's a tiny bit of rain coming. Hopefully there is, because Hungary in the rain is such a difficult track. But we have the lights going, and we have fire lights, and we're waiting, and it just restarted the whole sequence. So all the drivers lining up on the grid, and away we go. And Tiska has a bit of wheel spin on the start. So is Nasuda gonna challenge into turn 1?
No, we've got a safety car straight away off the start. This is one of the glitches that happened with the formation laps, so it's now migrated across to non-safety car starts as well. But we do have drivers vying for position there. We've got Andre, who's made a worldy start. We'll probably have to give those positions back to Griffin, Spod, and well, Milosh has dropped a lot of places there. But looking at the tyre choices then, Andre on the soft tyre, that's how he's made that much ground up. Got a much, much better launch, and Alex has got a problem. Is that Alex's car that's ghosted, or is he working his way back through the field? He's working his way back through now. It's whether or not the game will allow him to do that. Back ahead of Blades.
Yeah, did he have a spin?
He must have done. He must have gone off track or had a snap from somewhere. But Alex losing out massively there, and that's going to compromise his race as well. Soft tyres for him. Not quite sure why we've got the safety car out. There might have been a connection issue, which sort of allows the game to neutralise the field, get everyone synced back up and go again. Normally when this happens in your offline save, I like to think that there's been a streaker or something running across the track, and it's just to make sure that everyone's all safe and secure before we go racing again. So we'll go with that. We've had a COS streaker for the first time.
Oh, it could be the formation lap.
Or it could be the formation lap, yes. So
we have a Mercedes leading now in the safety car. So 3 Mercedes cars on track. So if it finishes like this, they will definitely win the championship.
So we've got Andre in the pits then, as is Tuspo. So one of the tactical meisters going in for a pit stop. He could be able to go medium from here.
Yeah,
Taking
Andre is on
advantage
the
of the game.
hards.
Andre's going to go a long way into the race with those hard tyres and potentially go the full distance on them, actually. He could do that from here. It'd be tough at the end, but he could do it. Tuspo's gone medium, so he's going to be hoping for either another safety car to get a free stop onto another set of mediums, or he's going to go a long way and then onto a set of softs a little bit later on. So he's going to have 34 laps to complete. Nice simple bit of maths there for him. Nice 17 laps on each set of tyres.
Yeah, the mediums are definitely the racer you want to be on. They don't overheat that easily, at least. You have to really push on the tires to make them overheat around here. But
it's a front limited circuit as well for Taiwan, so you're gonna see drivers understeering a lot as we're going through. Safety car is coming in then at the end of lap 2. Tiski takes de facto control of the field. So the majority of the drivers then on mediums. We've got one remaining soft runner, that's Alex. Andre started on but has pitted. Hard runners, Miloš, Tichy, Red Panda, Mons. They started on them. Tuspo started on a set of hards but has stopped now for mediums.
yeah, so Tiski will try and get a good run out of this corner. To not only set himself up nicely, but his teammate as well. So he is going now, and Tommy is on the tail of Nisula actually. He's right behind him. He might even go for the overtake. He's on the inside into turn 1, and is he gonna go up the inside and ahead of the Alfa Romero? He is on the inside, and there is room for both of them, but he is gonna be behind for now.
Yeah, you need to be ahead before the braking zone really for that to work on the inside of turn 1, like we said before, because you need to get the car turned and straight before you put the power down. It amplifies the effect with the DRS, but without it, Domi there feeling the pain. And the two Alphas holding position as Domi runs wide. That's going to have been a warning for him.
Yeah, I just saw. I think it was Pure Blades and Griffin have a bit of a fight. They were too wide down into turn 2, but all nice and clean as Pure Blades could take a ton of more speed on the outside line. So he's ahead of Griffin.
At these early stages, both of the race and after a safety car restart, of course the tyres are still not quite up to temperature yet. Wider lines allow you to put the power down more easily, puts less stress on the tyre. And where the advantages between different compounds are going to be more relevant and more prevalent as we get further into the stint. We've got Alex there in P6 on a set of soft tyres, having dropped back initially off the start, going down the inside of Will into turn 1. And he's lost the back end again, and that's lost him another place to Blades.
And it is Griffin 3 places.
As well. Yeah, and
now Spot is going for an overtake as well.
Yep, and he's got past Ivica on that. Ivica, I am very impressed with. ERS still at 60%. He's learning, the lad's doing good.
Oh, and Alex is, I think he's struggling with tire temps maybe, because he's oversteering and understeering all over the place. And that's never focused
the use of the. Yeah, he's trying to make the most of the tyre, isn't he? And it's not working out for him just yet. He's trying too hard almost. But I think we could see him pit much sooner rather than later.
Yeah, those tires really overheat if you put too much pressure onto them. That's why you have to be quite wary on the soft tires. You have to be very smooth with your steering, especially in the race. In the qualifying, it doesn't really matter. but Dummy is out of the 1 second of the RFS in front. I
He is.
think I saw,
DRS now enabled.
and both RFS is looking good with ES, as I can see from the onboard.
Yeah, so we've got Nisula with around 80% and Tiski with 75%. So both of them doing really, really well. Domi pushing hard to try and get back within that 1 second window, but if I'm brutally honest, I think that's a lost cause now. Dan just needs to stick with him. Because he's looking to try and limit the impact that Tiski can make onto his championship leads. As it stands right now, it would be 13 points. But Tiski is taking 14 points even. So he's got the fastest lap. That Tiski will be taking out of Dan's championship lead. It's not enough for Dan to be considerably worried about it just yet. But of course, all it takes is one issue for Tiski. Dan jumps up to third. And if Tiski doesn't score, then the championship is rounded off tonight.
Yeah, Nisula is really putting some pressure onto Tiska now. I think they might just be trying to work together for now. Pull away from the pack and just do what they need to do to get that lead. And if there's a safety car, they'll be able to double stack.
Yeah, so we need to have an effective double stack in F1 league racing. Of course, it's not the usual maybe 4 or 5 seconds that you would expect in real F1. We're talking maybe 17 seconds realistically. So having that gap where they're able to make enough of have the gap between them and the third place driver, in this case Domi, where they can stack the cars and the second place man can afford to lose time. That could be really, really important later on if there is a safety car. Because historic safety cars around here are almost guaranteed. I don't think we've had a race without one since the safety car changes came in a couple of years ago, where it actually became possible for there to be one. And I would expect there to be at least one at some point during this race. I know that there will be one driver out there who is in the same boat, and that's going to be Titchy. Let's see if he's under-fueled. Yes, he is under-fueled.
He always
As always. As is Two-Spell. So both of them under-fueling this time. Going for the gamble on there being a safety car. They are the only two that are under-fueled right now. Dan going for the move for third place, though. And he's taking it. Domi conceding that relatively easily as they headed into turn 1. Backed out of it. Let Dan take place.
Alex and Griffin are fighting. So is Griffin gonna keep that position or not? Alex is on the inside for this corner and he's gonna push Griffin a bit wide, and that's gonna be Alex ahead. That's a bit naughty, but
getting close to Christmas, he needs to make sure he's on the nice list.
Definitely.
We've just had, I think, was that Will running wide there, taking out the brake marker boards for the chicane. Blade's putting him under all sorts of pressure now as we head into the S's of Sector 2. Ferrari man survives, but he's lost a lot of time to his teammate ahead, nearly 3 seconds now.
Yeah, I just noticed that Dan has cut the lead down to the top pack by 2/10 or something. Oh, and contact with Blades and Alex, and that's going to be Griffin up the inside of Alex again. So this fight is spicing up, and Alex's tires will only die from now on. They won't be getting any better.
No, Alex just coming towards the end of the working, well, the beneficial working range of those soft tyres. Blades, of course, finished second last night in EU4, behind the current champion, that's Lewis, racer. So Blades is no mean customer. He knows what he's doing. Oh, big contact there!
Big contact, and that is probably gonna be a safety car.
Griffin, Spot, and Alex all involved there.
And that is gonna be a safety car. No, Muns is out of the race.
It's a lot of damage, but also it started to rain.
Oh, it is.
It's raining, and the safety car's out. Oh, what are they gonna do?
Is it gonna
A
be
lot of
into?
cars with damage. Of course, Mon's out of the race. That's really unfortunate for him. Just came through turn 3.
Yeah.
But of course, no ghosting in contest of speed now for incidents. And Mon's unfortunately coming a cropper of that on his first outing.
Yeah, Alex, I don't know, that rejoin was a bit sketchy from Alex. It's a really unlucky place to be in, but...
Tiski's coming in, Nisula carrying on.
Yeah... I think the safe choice is probably to pit, because...
Dan has also carried on, so he's now gone ahead of Tiski.
Yeah...
So depending on Blades as well is out in front. Domi's gone to intermediate, so's Tiski. They're committing to it.
Did Ferrari stop stacking?
Yeah, have they gone too early? Griffin's in for a set of softs, as well as the wing change. The Alpine's having to stack the cars there. Pizza now into the box. He's going to lose out massively there. Who else have we got? Both Hasses are into the pits. They've gone for intermediates. We've got a range of tyres going on here. Craggy as well has made up a lot of ground from the back of the field, up to P7, with all the other drivers stacking with their teammates. And he's on a set of hard tyres, going to try and go to the end now. So whether this rain's going to get heavy enough for intermediates is yet to be seen. It certainly looks as though it could only be a brief shower. The cloud cover not really as dark as you would expect for a more persistent shower.
No, but we don't know. We haven't seen the weather forecast, so it's spicing up the grid a bit.
Yeah, it is. The thing is, the guys that have stayed out, because they got caught behind the safety car now, they have to commit to this. If they pit in now, they're going to be sort of strewn throughout the rest of the field. I'll be honest, the only one I think who's maybe taking the gamble here and really is going to lose out is Missoula. Dan's got to take that risk if he wants to try and wrap the title up tonight, which, knowing him as I do, I think he will want to get it wrapped up tonight. If he can, Blades will be trying to make the best result possible, especially after his PT finish yesterday. The other thing to remember, of course, is if we remember back to a few weeks ago at Silverstone, when we had similar conditions to this, Dan went early onto a set of intermediates and it didn't pay off and he had to come back in. So maybe a little bit of caution there on his part, so as to not repeat the mistakes of the past.
Yeah, it doesn't look that the track is getting completely wet for now. It looks a bit greasy, but it looks to be Is it just me, or is it looking darker now than it was just a lap before?
It certainly looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more cloud cover is giving us that impression. So it might be that it's going to get a little bit heavier. I'm going to ride on board with Nisula up front and just see, because the track itself, we're not getting any spray just yet, which is often quite an indicative sign. And obviously we're not pushing at the moment, so we don't know if they're going to have any issues behind the safety car in terms of traction.
Oh, I'm watching a bit of rain staying on the track now. This is going to be very difficult. I think we had this last season in XP2 with the rain coming down in dry conditions as well.
Yeah, and I've had it before where the rain's coming down and the track just doesn't ever get quite wet enough for the intermediates. You're sort of staying on the boundary. Of course, the problem for these guys, they're not able to build the gap up that they would be under dry conditions.
Yeah, Missoula is in, Dan is staying out. I don't necessarily know why he does that, but he might know something we don't.
He's not really got a choice. If he pits now, he's going to come out at the very back of the field. As Nisula now is going to come out at best 16th. So he's gone from essentially leading to last place.
Yeah, but the track is definitely wet now. So it's the right choice, I would assume. because dry tires around Hungary and on a wet surface is not working at all. You're just gonna be sliding, and it's gonna be an easy crash.
Yeah, I suppose the saving grace there, we've got Alex who's coming in for a new nose cone. He's managed to lose that by himself somewhere. Now, I don't know if that's because he's trying to get some temperature in the tyres and he's lost it, or if it's getting that wet that he's had an accident. But we'll see. We've not had the notification from race control yet to say that it's DRS disabled, so essentially that means that the slick tyres are going to be faster. Whether that's true in practice, I think we'll find out at the end of this lap when we get going again. I would assume the safety car is going to be coming in.
One thing to note is that as soon as Jones asked if there were any safety cars, we just had a safety car with a massive crash into turn 2. So a bit of a jinx from the viewers. But
it's not the commentator's curse for once.
So then on the mediums, old mediums as well, to say. So he's gonna struggle with the rear end, and he's really trying to get some heat into those tires. It's definitely Inters now. As you can see by the track surface, it is completely wet now.
Well, you say that, but we've still not had DRS disabled.
Yeah.
It's still technically a dry race, so just need to wait and see what happens here. I mean, Dan's going to leave it as long as possible because you don't want to be putting the power down in the middle of a corner in any sort of greasy conditions. Blades there, under pressure from Tiski straight away, covers him off well.
And Domi on the inside. And will he brake later than Blades into turn 1? He will have the better line, he will be ahead. And that's going to be Domi ahead. No, is it? No, and Will had just taken that position. And so has Cracky. But you can tell that the Inters are the faster tire. You can see how much Cracky is struggling with those hard tires. So he's running wide, and so is Stan. So Inters are definitely the faster tire. And that's going to be an incident in the back, and that is Pipe Tech. And he is out, and it's with his teammate.
Alex has left the session and retired as a result.
So, safety car once again.
Yeah, so this does give drivers on the slicks an opportunity to stop, or if we know that the rain is going to stop before the end of this safety car, it gives them a golden opportunity to stay out and keep those tyres, and everyone else is going to have to come in again.
Yeah, but it's looking quite wet, so it's gonna take quite a long time to dry up, I would assume. You can see there's a kind of a dry line, but it's not close enough to be able to utilize for the guys in the slick tires, because it's just getting wet as soon as everyone is leaving the corner.
Dan's coming in.
Yeah, so it's Blades and Cracky, so all the guys on slick tires are coming in, so it's definitely time for Inters.
They took the gamble. It was worth a go.
I've just noticed Red Panther's in P3.
Yes, he's doing alright. It's a Ferrari 1-2, which for me, not being at all partisan, is a good thing. Tiski now in P4, Dan in P10. So that's a swing of 11 points in Tiski's favour as it stands right now.
I've just noticed Milas is on the wet tires. Is he taking a gamble?
We'll see how that goes. He could well be. Stay Spud on another set of intermediates. That's his third set so far.
So everyone is on Inters now. I don't think there's going to be a big difference between the Inters and these Inters and the new Inters, because it's only been half a lap of running.
You know, it's the wets and intermediates as well. Do you find if you run on them for a few laps, they actually get a little bit better?
Yeah, it's like you get a bit more grip.
Yeah, they start to, well, the compound softens off a bit, and they become more of a slick tyre. Obviously, you don't want them completely slick, so they don't clear the water, and you find yourself in a barrier somewhere. But it's yeah, it's an interesting
Dynamic.
sort of dynamic, yeah,
Yeah.
that the tyres have got, really. Milosh then, like you say, on the wet tyre. We'll see what happens with him when we get back around. And the racing gets underway again. So it's Ferrari, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Haas, Williams. The Williams is coming in though, that's Andre. Andre and Milosh teammates in EU4 for Mercedes, so let's see if they're working together. Milosh might have sent a bit of a coded message to his teammate in the lower division, and yes, Andre is going on to a set of
Inters.
Oh no, fresh set of inters. It looked like wets from where I was there. Nope, fresh set of inters.
Yeah.
Looked like wets from a distance.
Yeah, but
so
that move by William to turn one was really beautiful. He did really well for himself to stay out of trouble, and he was already putting the pressure onto Dan after that one corner afterwards into turn 3.
Yeah. And Ferrari's now in a dominant position. Well, I'm really confused why Andre's taken that pit stop, because he was running in P5. P6 rather, and he's now put himself at the very back of the field. I don't really understand why he's done that. For a set of tyres that are 5 laps younger, it makes no sense to me.
No, he probably knows something we don't.
Maybe.
He is the driver, so he knows how the conditions are. We can't really tell by an outside view for now. But I think it is going to be in the sled. Yes.
Yep.
So he won 1 tyres now, quite aggressively as well. So the tyres are quite cold.
Yeah, because the inters and the wet's able to operate at lower temperatures as well, naturally, because they're soaked in, well, they're sort of immersed in water the whole time, aren't they? Really? So
yeah.
But I think, whereas we're looking at slick tyres operating at around the 110 Celsius mark, the inters are around 70 to 80, and then the full wet's 60 to 70.
Yeah, so Will's already going, is he? Yes, he has gone out of the last corner. So, and he's left his teammate for dead. And Red Panda is already under pressure from Tiski behind, and Ivica is pushing Tiski as well. So, is Tiski gonna go down the inside? No, he's not. But he is gonna be pressured by Ivica as well.
And we've seen Griffin there losing out, as is Tichy, down with a kick of oversteer. He's caught it, but he's going to come under pressure now from Blades. Tichy and Craggy making moves back on the Mercedes. As you see Tiski up to 3rd.
Yeah, he's taking that position, and Rapando running a bit wide. Both Ferraris got quite a big of a gap now. Misuda is trying on Ivica on the outside, but that's gonna open up for Cracky on the inside into the chicane. Is he gonna go for it, Cracky? It's a really bad camera angle. We saw a McLaren on the inside, and that was Blades on Tichy, and
yeah, 2 spells taking advantage. I think Blades is trying to give the position back to Tichy for a little push wide on the entry to the chicane, and the other has said, "Thank you very much, I'll take both places."
Yeah, bit of sportsmanship goes a long way.
The wet tyres are not the one, as we're seeing Milosh under pressure from Andre, but he's managed to switch back underneath him and retake 14th place. But slowly but surely, they're actually dropping away from the cars ahead. Although it does look like the track is now getting to the point of being very, very wet.
Yeah,
maybe sooner rather than later for the full wet.
Yeah, Nisuda has already passed Ivica, and he's now going past Rapanda, and Rapanda getting a push behind by his Aston Martin teammate, and that's going to be a spin for Rapanda, and he's around. So Cracky pushing his teammate around for no apparent reason.
Yeah, it's a shame for the Astons, running really well there in P3 and P4, or 4 and 5th, 4th and 5th rather. So it's now a Ferrari 1-2 and an Alfa Romeo 3-4. No real problems with the championship at the moment, but Mercedes are not scoring enough points to conclude it. Well, nigh on conclude it and give themselves a champions elect status.
Craggy having a big slide there and too wide for Dan, Rubber and Griffin, and Two-Spell trying to get past Blade. No, Blade's trying to get past Two-Spell and he is past now. So Blade's got pace in that McLaren.
Yeah, he's had a whole race distance worth of practice as well over everybody else, albeit in dry conditions.
Yeah, he's...
And then in P7, looking to close into Craggy and Ivica.
Yeah, Will's got some really good pace in the wets, I've noticed. He's pulling a bit away from Dummy, and Blades is going on the attack on Griffin now. Does he have the straight line speed to do so, or the braking power? He is on the inside, so he might make it work if he's able to get the tracking down. A bit of a touch there, but nothing major. So it looks like he is going to be ahead coming into turn 2, and he is. So great move by Blades there, just being a bit cautious on the brakes, not taking someone out, and that's good to see.
Playing the psychological game there with Griffin, making the Alpine brake latest, and being a little bit too late to hold his ground.
Yeah, Cracky going wide, so he's struggling with these conditions. It's looking really wet out there, and Tiski is being pushed by Nasula around. So Nasula is really fast in these conditions. So all the Ferrari engine cars are looking quite decent. The Haas is a bit far behind, but...
yeah, the Hasses could come back into it later on, though. We know what they're like. I'm just mindful of Milosh's distance to Andre at the moment. He is still falling back, so it's still intermediate conditions. There's nothing to suggest that the full wet is going to be the better tyre at the moment, but he will be the barometer for the field, and I've no doubt that there will be people listening in to our commentary as well as the Alfa Romeo swap places and they exit the final corner. Missoula up to third. Yeah, there'll be people listening to the commentary as well for the point when Milosh starts to catch back up. As we see him lose out to Red Panda now, and he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, Cracky is going for a move on Ivica now. He's gonna go around the outside into turn 2 and a bit of contact between the two. And Ivica really pushing Cracky, and that's gonna be Cracky up ahead. Inside is really key into the corner. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Milosh has gone back to a set of inters now, so either the rain's going to be using up, or he's decided to bite the bullet, come in and get rid of the wets that were really starting to slow him down. As we've got an incident for Ivica, he's lost a couple of places, so he's locking up into the chicane there, and dropping back behind Spod, so he's dropped down from P6 to P11. I don't know if there's maybe been a coming together there, but it looked as though on the inside of turn 5 he's had a snap of oversteer, had to catch it, and then sort of allow people to go past him on the outside.
Yeah. And that's allowing Two-Spell to move up again.
Craggy going for a move on Tiski into the penultimate corner. He's got it done as well. Great move from the Aston up the inside of turn 15.
And Nisula now getting ahead as well.
Yeah, Nisula ahead of Domi, charging after the leader Will. Tiski really struggling in the wet. Dan is the next car to go up against him. The championship leader coming up behind at second place. And if the Mercedes can get in front, as Tiski has a snap of oversteer, that's going to be an easy move for the Mercedes. Down on the inside towards turn 2. Sliding all over the road, the pair of them, but it's the Merc ahead. Can the McLaren of Blades make an advantage now? Tiski round the outside of turn 3. Yes, he can. So Tiski, 2 places in 2 corners, all because of that snap of oversteer, as we've got Red Panda out at turn 1 and the safety car back out on track.
Yeah. I've just noticed Ivica is on the wets
Ooh. Now this will be interesting. Are we going to see all of them dive for the pit lane in a set of wets? Has Milos gone off those tyres at the wrong time? Has it been a complete tactical flop from Red Bull? We'll soon see. Back up to Will then in the lead at the moment. He's got Nisula right behind him. And I think Nisula's pace is fairly ominous from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's such a difficult track to overtake in, especially in the inters, because Will isn't a bad driver, so he's definitely able to stick it out. And he is staying out. Domi is in, Craigie is in, Dan is staying out, Blade is staying out, Tiski is in, Tuspill is staying out, Griffin is in, Spot is in, Techi is staying out, Andre is staying out, and Car will stay out as well, and then Woods maybe.
Fresh set of intermediates for the majority of these drivers, not the full wet like we thought it might be. It is a full set of fresh intermediates for Tiski, but it's dropped him now down to P10. So as it stands right now, Dan will be the champion. Tiski needs to get himself up to P8 with the fastest lap, which he does have at the moment. That's not going to change anytime soon, not in these conditions. So he needs to get to P8 to keep the championship alive.
15 laps left, and the sky's getting brighter, I've noticed.
A little bit, yeah. This rain's still coming down though, so it's not going to dry up too quickly. But there is a bit of a line forming. I'm not sure we'll get it dry in the next 15 laps though. But if the rain comes and dries up soon, it might well be the case. In which case, those guys who've been in for that fresh set of inters are going to be at a serious disadvantage because they're going to have to stop again for the set of slicks.
Yeah. Will and Dan is really they're taking matters into their own hands by staying out. They think the tires aren't feeling bad. They might be able to go to the end easily.
I think, yeah, they might be able to make them to the end if they've looked after them. I think Will might struggle. Dan might be in a better position there with the 4 laps less on them, particularly when the track was still a little bit in the crossover period, still a little bit dry. But the two Hasses, of course, as we mentioned, they can come back and do some real damage in P4 and P5 now. And I don't think the weather's had its played its before the end of this race.
No, it's definitely not. Red Panda is telling me in the chat that the rain might become a bit heavier, so we might see just borderline wet tires making it work.
Interesting.
That would be interesting. So, did anyone go for a wet setup in qualifying? That's my question. The rules will be basically the same. Suspension, no.
I don't think it doesn't matter too much about changing the setup though. I don't think, because you can run a dry setup and then if the race is going to be wet, you soften your tyre pressures a little bit, lower your front wing, and then shift your brake bias backwards. You know, it's not the, I mean obviously it's not ideal, but it's not the most difficult thing to do anymore. You don't necessarily need to change the whole setup.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of how you feel that the car's gonna behave. Personally, I think dry setups on a wet track is almost impossible. Especially on
a wet track.
Low grip circuits. So safety car.
I'm going to keep an eye on Ivica and just see how those wet tyres handle current conditions, because the rain is really starting to come down now.
Yeah, it's yeah, you can see puddles everywhere. So it might even be time for inters. No, wets. So who is gonna control the restart. Is he gonna take a good restart again? He's going already. So he's coming out of the last corner. He's taking it quite easy on the throttle. Dan has a big snap of overseat. That's gonna put Blades up behind him, but not close enough to put pressure onto the championship leader. And Andre being pushing Tichy and being pushed from behind by Nesula, and Nesula is being pushed by Cracky. So Tichy and Andre going too wide into this corner, and that's going to be a bit of contact. And is Tichy going to stay ahead? Nesula is going to go around Andre, and Nesula is going to take the position on Tichy as well.
To say, I'm riding on board with Ivica at the restart. He looks very, very comfortable on these wets. I think it might be that crossover point now, because he's staying with these guys ahead. I mean, granted, they're all fighting, but he's about to go past his teammate, who's had an incident. There's a Williams in there as well of Andre, who's had another torrid restart. As we say that, Ivica's just caught the back end of the car with a snap of oversteer, lost one position. And I think we might have some wing damage there from Miller. She got caught up in that, but he just touched the curb. The back end stepped out. Cat-like reflexes to catch it on the brakes, but very nearly a disaster for the Alpines.
Yeah, Titch's getting overtaken by everyone now. He's no grip on those centers, and he is gonna be down to P9 now. And Spud is gonna try to overtake now, and he's gonna be ahead as well. So Andre is in, and so is Milish. Masuda has caught up to Dan and Will already.
So Tiski now, as it stands right now, Tiski is in a position to continue this fight till the end of the season. But Dan going for the lead around the outside of Will into turn 2. He's going to have the inside for 3. Can he get far enough ahead to take it? Yes, he can. But can Will fight back towards turn 4? Not quite. Nisula takes second place from him. So 2 places in 1 corner for Will, but Dan now in the lead. As it stands right now, he will be champion, but he gets tagged by Nisula. Catches it though.
Ooh, and Nisula is round, and that's gonna be into Will, and Will is... Oh, that's Nisula down a ton of positions. And
Will as well, down to 9th from leading at the start of the lap. He's now down to 9th place. Tiski up to 6th. He needs to get to 4th now with the fastest lap to keep the championship battle going. But it could all change again. Craggy, we've seen the pace he's got. He's all over the back of the Mercedes. Is he going to be able to get ahead, make a move?
He is looking for alternative lines to get off the dirtier of the Mercedes up ahead. So he's trying everything he can to get traction.
Tiski now ahead of 2-Spell, Nisula as well, but as 2-Spell's coming in, I think it's wet weather time. I think it's wet tyre time.
Yeah, you can tell by the track.
A couple of drivers on them. Yeah, and Craggy has a look down the inside, not quite close enough. Yeah, Ivica now, he's not gaining time on the cars ahead, but he's not really losing it either. And all the traction zones, he's making up a big chunk of time. 2-Spell has gone to the wets. Whether that's as a barometer, I'm not sure. Craggy right on the back of Dan's Mercedes now, tucks in under the rear wing. Needs to be careful going up towards turn 4. But there isn't a simply horrid accident. Blades losing ground, and with Domi taking 3rd place. So the lead Ferrari now back to 3rd.
Is Craggy going for the into the chicane? No, he's not. He's staying behind. So Dan, he's getting the traction he needs out of the corners for now to keep Craggy behind.
It's only just though, the fresher intermediates on Craggy's car really helping him at the moment, especially if this is going into full wet territory. We'll have 11 laps to go when they cross the line this time around. Craggy has a look down the inside into 15. Dan leaves the door open for him. That's going to be Aston Martin taking the lead of the race. So he runs deep at 15. The Mercedes retakes the position.
And that's going to be Dan up ahead in the lead again. And this is helping Domi get up to the drivers now. And Blades is going for a move on spot, and Tisky is
Blades has lost out to both Alfa Romeos.
Yeah.
Not sure what's happened to him. Craggy's retaking the lead from Dan, who's dropped to second place. Domi there tucking in behind. Fresher tyres on these two cars compared to the Mercedes, and the Ferrari going to try the outside turn 2. It's not going to be, or is it going to be? No, not quite. Thought he had a bit of a traction.
Ooh, and Griffin is around into turn 2, and that's going to be the Alpine having to rejoin, and he does safely.
He's back underway. Craggy though, look at that, 1.5 seconds already clear. You see Nisula right on the back of these two fighting for second place. We've got Milos, who's had a problem on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah, this is getting really heavy rain now. And Domi is gonna go down the inside into a high-speed right-hander, and he's gonna be ahead, and so is Nisula behind. So that's gonna be 2 cars in front of them now. And Tisky's right behind.
Tisky behind, because it doesn't really matter at this stage. Dan needs to, well, if Dan wins the race from here and Tisky stays in P5, then championship's over. As it stands right now, it goes to next week. Not next week, the week after. Got a week break coming up. 2 weeks' time, we'll be in Qatar for the penultimate round. But Dan now losing ground to the cars ahead, losing a little bit of time to the cars behind. Domi and Nisula side by side. Going to be the Alfa Romeo is going to take second place.
Or is he?
Domi fighting back.
Yeah, he's on the inside there, but is he gonna be able to keep the minimum speed up? Yes, he is. He got a big snap of overseas on the exit there, and he is on the outside here, and he is being left space, and that's gonna be Nisula up into P2.
Tisky closing up to the back of Dan now with those fresh intermediate tyres. Whether he'll be able to get past is another matter. We've seen he's not got a massive amount of pace in these conditions, but those fresher tyres are helping.
Yeah, fresh inters is definitely working well around here now.
Yeah. Milos into the pits. He's had an incident where the wing has gone, yeah, and he's retired from the race in the pit lane. Not surprising. See, what Dan needs now is his teammate to close right back up and challenge Tisky, which he is now doing. Spot closing to the back of the Alfa Romeo, but he needs to get there quickly and give his teammate some support. Ivica is the first man into the penalty book. 3 seconds before exceeding track limits.
He is on the wet tyres, and
Spot challenging Tisky, who's had a horrible penultimate corner. Spot on the outside of the Alfa Romeo. Takes
and Tisky's left.
Disconnected. He's disconnected. That could be disastrous.
Oh, that could hurt the championship quite a bit.
None of us here or anyone watching want the championship to end that way. Dan will be more than happy if it finishes like this. I'm going to try and get Tisky an invite back, but I can't see him online at the moment. He's not appearing anywhere for me. Well, it might be a proper kaput internet moment. Which would be a crying shame for him, it really would.
Yeah.
Dan still needs to finish 3rd or higher though in order to wrap the championship up tonight, so it might not be a completely lost cause.
No, and Tisky's AI isn't using as much as you would assume. And Blades gets 3 seconds.
Could be saving grace for Tisky's 2 drivers behind his AI. Now both carrying penalties. Alex has left the session as well.
Yeah, he's been out for quite a while.
Yeah, he ran out a while, yeah. So I always get Will and Alex confused in terms of who's who. Not obviously the names. That's
and Will's getting a penalty.
Dear. Sorry, Will. That's the commentator if I've ever done it. Oh dear. Yeah, it's so Dan will be hoping that Domi or Nisula Or Craggy has an incident. Tiski's back in.
Yeah.
Lost a massive amount of time. I'm just going to check the penalties for the leading 4 or 5 drivers. So Craggy is 1 away. Nisula is 1 away.
Ooh, and Wilson to the pits.
Domi
On
1
the wet
away.
tires. So
Dan is 2 away. Spud 1 away. And Tiski 1 away.
So everyone is really close on warnings, and Yasuda almost getting a warning there, going really wide, having a big snapper for the end exit, and
Blaze makes it through before Tiski can retake
behind
control of the
now.
car. Wet tyres now seem to be making a massive inroad. Look at the speed Ivica is catching the 2 ahead of him. It's over a second in the last sector alone. We're really starting to see the benefit of those wet tyres now.
Yeah.
7 laps to go. I don't know if it's worth the leaders trying it yet. I don't think Craggy in particular, Craggy and Nisula might be far enough ahead to give it a go. I don't think Domi and the 2 Mercs and then Blades and Tiski, I don't think they've got the gap to really make it happen. But look at Ivica already closing in on the back of Tiski, who's left the session again.
That is really unfortunate for Tiski. It's not going his way today. He was on pole and now he's just losing.
Just losing time, losing positions.
Yeah.
Dan still needs to get up to 3rd though. At the moment that's not happening, but he also needs Tiski to drop down out of the points. But Tiski needs to have completed 75% race distance in order to be given points if he's disconnected. So let me work out the maths for it.
I would assume he's done that.
He has done that, yeah. He has. It's the start of lap 26 would be what we would count as 75%.
Yeah, so he's done the laps he needed to do to get points for this race.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were going to go with the 90% that we have done in the past for certain cases, he's close to that now because he's managed to rejoin the session. So if he can get to the end of lap 32, start of 33, accounting for the 2 laps that he's missed, he is guaranteed points. But he's got Ivica all over the back of that car now. Wet weather tyre coming into its own here at the Hungaroring.
Yeah, the wet tires are really working well now. You can really see how much the wet is. Oh, and that's gonna be a spin. And just as we're talking how well it's going for him, he's losing the car. That's us cursing him once again. That's very
we can see
unfortunate.
how fast the tyre is now, because he dropped 6.5 seconds back to Tiski. So at the exit of turn 1, we'll see what the real gap is.
Yeah.
About 5.6, I think, 5.5 seconds on the exit. And granted, Tiski's car is, I think it's now back under his control. I want to say.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's having the little snaps of oversteer, isn't it? He's having to catch, which the AI doesn't have. But Ivica then holding the gap at around 5.5. So maybe the rain's starting to ease up a little bit. Maybe the track getting drier.
Yeah, Tuspel is catching Ivica as well. He's within the 3 seconds now. Or maybe the tires are overheating now because of that spin. That could be a thing.
Could be. Of course, Dan now in P4. 12 points he's getting for that. It would put him within 3 points of the title next time out in Qatar if he was to... assuming that Tiski didn't score today, which he is at the moment doing. He's going to score 6 points. It's actually going to put down 9 points away from the title. As it stands right now, and then we have to factor in the fastest lap, which, is it still Tiski? It will be still Tiski, won't it?
Yeah.
It is, so it's 10 points for Dan. He needs a P5 next week if he finishes 4th tonight.
Yeah, he's not really making inroads into W, but he's keeping his pace steady. So he's doing quite nicely on those tires.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 laps to go as well when they cross the line to start lap 32.
And Blades putting on pressure on Spud here.
Yeah, Spod will. Spod's on fresher intermediates as well, so I think you'll just start to pick the pace up a little bit to keep Blades behind. Doing a really sterling job as the wingman there for his teammate.
Yeah, Tiskin now catching up to Spud and Blades as he is in control now again.
Yeah, and pulling away from Ivica as well, who's losing time, like you said, to 2-Spell.
Now 2-Spell is fighting with Will. So Will has got some really great pace on those wet tires. He is gonna go for the move now into sector 3, I think. Maybe on the inside here. He is gonna stick his nose up, but it's not gonna be enough. Yes, it is, because he's not gonna get tracked out of the corner and he's gonna go around the outside in no ultimate corner. Is it gonna work? He does have better grip on the outside line, and he is gonna be ahead.
Yeah, and he'll be inside for the final corner. Puts himself ahead of 2-Spell, who's had a snap of oversteer mid-corner there. Let's see how quickly Will can close up then to the Alpine ahead of him of Ivica.
Yeah, Blade's not able to get ahead of Spud. He's got that 3-second penalty as well, so he's gonna be mad that he's gotten that, because he's definitely got the pace, Blades.
Yeah,
but it's gonna lose him positions, unfortunately.
Yeah, Tiski as well, now right up behind him. Of course, Tiski and Spud 1 warning away from a penalty themselves, so both of them will need to be careful.
Yeah, Tiski's staying quite nicely within the boundaries of the track, so he's not giving it his all, if you could say that. He's staying safe, which is nice to see.
Yeah, Blades taking pretty wide entry there to turn 13.
Yeah. Minor hint of understeering the car now because of those old tires. But they're so close now, all the 3 cars here. They're really pushing each other around in this final sector. Is Blade's gonna get the run, and Spud has gotten a really bad exit there. But is it gonna be enough? It's not gonna be enough. Depends if he's gonna send it down the inside. He won't do that. He's gonna stick behind for now. And Blades is gonna... He's not able to do anything just now.
Yeah, both of them, well, they're both friends off the track. Living, well, near enough, live in the same town even. And I know they'll be in a party together. Tiski there, just bumping the back of Blades.
Will is ahead of Ivka now, so those wet tires are working well on the Ferrari.
Charging forward is Will. We'll see if he can catch this trio up.
Yeah, he's got so much years to use as well.
Spud really doing an outstanding job as a teammate here for Dan, who's pushing on.
Yeah,
just outside 3 seconds from Domi.
Yeah, and Nisula is now catching up to Craggy, so maybe Craggy is struggling on the tires a tiny bit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've seen them both have some really good pace. Maybe. Let's have a look at the RS levels. Maybe Nisula burning a little bit. He's around half of his
It's
battery.
3
Cracking.
wide in the penultimate corner, and that's gonna be Titchy around, and he is going backwards now. And that's contact with the Alpine and his teammate as they go to turn left together.
Unfortunate there for those guys. Griffin looking to try and get into the last point spare position.
Yeah, he's got fresher tires. He's gonna get ahead of Two-Spell now. Oh, Two-Spell's gonna fight back. He's on the inside now, into turn 2. Does he have the pace on those tires, Griffin, to make it work? Is he gonna get the traction? Oh, and that's Two-Spell into the wall, and Cracky has retired!
Feeling the pressure from Nisula, he's lost it. We're into the final 2 laps of the race. No safety cars coming out at this point. But that's going to promote Dan to the podium. So now Tiski will be feeling the pressure as well. He has to finish in the points.
And Will has caught up as well. So he's right behind that group now. And he's gained that all in the 3 corners. And he's going to go on the inside of Tiski now. And it's not gonna work. He is gonna go on the inside in this corner, and that's gonna be Tiski around.
He's tagged the car. Tiski's still going in P7. He's not close enough to Evita or Griffin to lose any more ground.
No, and I would assume that Bull has to give that position back. Which gonna be a penalty.
There will probably be a penalty coming his way if Tiski chooses to report it.
So, will Blades be able to stay ahead of Will? It is the final lap, and it is for the final positions. And that's promoted Titchy up into the points. With the crash of Cracky.
Yeah, and Two-Spell's lost a lot of time as well. I don't know where he's lost all the off-ground from. So he was ahead of Titchy, of course.
No, he's without a wing. That's why.
So he's had an incident when he's been fighting with Griffin.
Yeah.
Lost the wing and he's just keeping it together.
Going too wide into the chicane. Spud is losing traction, and that is going to be Blades on the inside. And no space left, and that's going to be both Will and Blades around.
And Tiski takes P5. How fortunes can change in the space of a lap. Tiski then up to P5. And as sterling a job as Spud has done so far, being involved with that incident with Blades has actually been a hindrance. In doing so, we've missed Nisula as he crosses the line.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Here comes Domi then to take 2nd place. Dan not a million miles away in 3rd. Spud comes up through the final corner. And will take 4th place.
On track for sure.
Yeah. A lot of controversy there on the final lap. Tiski recovers to P5. Tiski will spin across in P6. Then Evita P7, Blades P8. Griffin will jump into 8th, so Blades drops to 9th. Tichy then through the final corner will take the final points paying position in 10th place. Bonus point to Tiski.
Oh! That was very close to a non-point finish.
Two-Spell with no front wing will come through agonisingly in 11th place. No one in front of him with penalties significant enough to get him a consolation point there. And Andre just behind to take 12th. Bonus point goes to Tiski. So 11 points going back with him. Dan in 3rd, so 15 points. 4 points difference there between the two of them, meaning Dan has to outscore Tiski by 11 points next time out in Qatar to secure the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, it looked really dark for Tiski there, but he really fought his way back through the race with disconnects and all that. So he's done really well for himself. So Nisula winning the race, and he's Hugh Hurts, as he says in the chat, and Dummy behind, 11 seconds behind. So Nisula and Craig were on stunning pace tonight in the wet tires, and then in P3, Spud P4, Tiski P5, Bull P6, Ivica P7, and Griffith P8. Blades P9, and Titi finishing running out the points in P10, and T-Spill just about not making it into the points.
Andre then the last finisher in 12th place. Craggy will be classified as 2 laps down, having led for that final stint, but tragically losing the back end of the car at turn 13, putting himself into the wall. DNFs then for Milos, Red Panda, Pipe Tech, Alex and Mons. Not a bad way to round out second part of the season then. We've got a break next week. And then we're back for a 2-race dash to the end of the season. We've got Qatar, and then we finish off at Spa-Francorchamps. Arguably the greatest track in the world.
Yes. I'm just going to it was Dan, Nisula, and Dummy. So while I ask them, you can do plugs.
Oh, you know me too well. Plug time, right. Thank you all very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, make sure you hit the follow button on Twitch, or if you're watching this back later on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. If you want to stay up to date with everything Contest of Speed, you can do so via our social media channels. Keep an eye out for the link tree in the bio of both YouTube and Twitch. If you're thinking, do you know what, I want some Christmas gifts for myself or a family member who I know likes cars, you can check out our merch store, contestofspeed.live/merch, and you have a look through. There will be some Christmas stuff coming out soon, and you can have a look for that if you want to get yourself something lovely for the holiday season. Contest of Speed and Contest of Speed Esports will also be competing in the 24 Hours of F1. That is over the weekend of the 16th and 17th of December. We'll be starting at, I believe, 12 PM, so midday on Saturday, going, like I said, 24 hours until Sunday 17th. So you tune in and support the two teams. It's all going to be fantastic. It's all for a good cause as well, all for charity. So make sure you tune in and help the cause.
Yeah, and there's no interviews tonight, unfortunately. But it was a good race tonight. As Dan has done all the plugs he needs to do, go watch the 24 hours if you want to see me crash.
Yeah, I'll be engineering the whole thing for both teams for COS, so it's going to be a very, very long weekend for me. I made it to 22 hours last year, so I'm hoping for the full thing this time.
So, thank you everyone for being here tonight. We appreciate it. It was a good race tonight. We will see you guys later on tonight. We have AM2, I believe.
Yes,
running
to at 2 AM in the UK, so that's 3 AM European, 9 PM Eastern. For anyone who wants to tune in for that.
Yes, so if you are up for the task of staying up to watch any more racing in COS, you can do so and tune in there. And we will see you guys next week not next week, in 2 weeks time for Qatar to run out championship maybe with Tiski and Dan fighting.
Yeah, both championships up for grabs next time out, so we'll see you there 2 weeks time, November the 28th. Make sure you tune in for the final championship run-in.
Yes, so we will see you guys in 2 weeks time and have a good day or nice evening. Yes, good night.